So just wanted to welcome everyone onto today's call. I'm Tony Rastel from Social Hire. I'm delighted today that Frankie is going to be talking to us about careers in digital marketing and the digital marketing sector in general, giving you some great oversights about all the different types of digital marketing out there, the kinds of skills you need, how businesses use those kinds of areas of expertise, and also there's a difference between in-house and agency digital marketing. So Frankie Brookton is from Climbing Trees and is going to be your expert on today's call. Please don't be shy. If you've got any questions you'd like Frankie to address, please do use the question box and send those through. But Frankie, for now, thank you very much for making the time to speak to everyone today, and it's over to you.
Thanks so much, Tony, and thanks everyone who's with us today. Oh, hang on, let's click on it. So today's session, as Tony mentioned, I'm excited to kind of cover with you a broad outline of the digital media landscape. We're running through everything from the evolution of digital, the agency landscape, a deeper look into paid advertising and organic marketing, knowing the sort of hows and whys, and obviously kind of where your skills are best suited. At the end, I've got a slide full of free resources for you, as well as a chance for any kind of Q&As. So for those who don't know me, I've spent the last 10 years sort of working in this digital space. I've seen lots of industry firsts across the agency landscape, especially as digital grew. And for the last year, I've been at Climbing Trees. We help our clients to grow their digital presence online, and we are all about digital marketing for good. So just a little bit about Climbing Trees for those who don't know of us. We are on a mission to make a positive impact in the world, and we basically want to work with companies and like to work with companies who care about the planet as much as we do. We also like to work with clients who share our values and our ethics. We've made some huge commitments, from planting 1 million trees to pledging to become a net zero by 2030. So starting off with the digital media agency landscape, quick fact for you, there's over 7,000 digital ad agencies in the UK. That was as of now, and that's increased nearly 6% from last year. So how does that fit in the sort of the grand scheme of the agency landscape? I thought we'd kind of split it into your brands and your media owners. And you can see here that your brands would be split into different sectors like fashion, electronics, retail and e-commerce. And your media owners specialise in different channels as well, like your print and online, out of home, radio and digital. So both the sort of the brands and the media owners are focused on reaching different audiences and demographics. Maybe that's age, interests, income, home life, you name it. But they're all about the kind of consumers, whether it's something we're buying or something we're reading or watching. And I guess this is where the sort of the advertising agencies come in, because they're responsible for managing a brand's ad spend. They'll split between sort of the network agencies and your independents. Your networks include your big boys like Publicis, Omnicom, Dentsu. They'll offer a sort of full service offering to clients, whereas your independent agencies are more specialist. You've got your media planning and buying, creative, performance, PR, etc. And in a nutshell, they all work together in a different way. And because of the volume of advertising spend that agencies might put through to the media owners, they might get better rates, better relationships, etc. You name it for the brands, which is all important when you're choosing the right agencies to work with. There's so much more to those relationships, whether the purpose and values align. Is there an expertise in the sector the agency has? Does the media owner fit the demographic for that campaign? I won't go into it much more today, but please let us know in the question box if you have any questions on this, which we can ask at the end. So now we know a little bit more about the agency landscape itself. How does the digital media landscape service that? It works across a number of ways, like media trading and buying, analytics, e-commerce and creative. Now they service all individual channels, such as SEO, content creation, video, social, programmatic, affiliate, e-commerce, and PPC. So how has digital grown? How did we get there? I thought it'd be really fun just to show you this quick timeline of how digital grew from the first clickable web banner in 1993. And you can see here that, it wasn't until the early 2000s that your social media brands started popping up. YouTube was launched, Twitter was launched, and your web streaming services popped up like Spotify and Hulu for your music and your video. And again, as we grow into kind of 2013 and beyond, you had more smart tech like your Echo Dots or your wearables, etc. And even now, if we think about the last few years and the impact digital has had as we all worked from home during the last pandemic, how Skype and Zoom have had a huge impact on, again, how we're working. But I thought what was also really interesting was TikTok launching in 2018 to then being the #1 app in such a short amount of time. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. I'll be sharing the slides at the end as well, so hopefully you can look into it in a little bit more detail. So how does this all fit into the internet? So we've got nearly 5 billion total internet users online. And you can break this down by how it's grown year on year, but also by the daily average time spent on the internet by each user, which is nearly 7 hours a day. And again, if we look at what the percentage of users is accessing the internet via mobile, it's over 90%, which is huge, because it's only in 2018 that mobile really started to overtake desktop users. Again, I thought this could just be a really fun way to demonstrate the magnitude of the internet growth. And you can see here how users have grown year on year since 2012. I'm not sure if this is kind of what you expected to see, but it'd be great to know any kind of thoughts you have in the question box. Now, if we break the internet users down by how they're browsing, we can see here that Chrome takes a huge share of web traffic, which leaves only a small slice of the pie to remaining search engines like Safari, Firefox, and the rest. For those who don't know, there's 3.5 billion searches on Google per day, and other search engines are popping up as well. You've got Ecosia, which focuses on planting a tree for every time you search, and DuckDuckGo, which is all about no tracking on their site, and all about kind of private searching. So social has played a huge part in our internet usage as well. So I was keen to see how this has grown over time. I don't know if this is the sort of results you expected to see, but this is how they have grown over the last 10 years. And on top of that, we can find out how much time is being spent with these social media apps. A lot of people spend a lot of time on YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Again, TikTok is a fairly new channel, yet it's taken as much, it's having as much time spent with it as Facebook is. What do you think of this? Is this how you use social? It'd be really interesting to know if this is the sort of time you spend on it per month. Please let us know. So we've seen how people are spending their time on social platforms, but what are people's favourite platforms? And I thought this was really interesting because for me, this told us that Instagram had just taken over Facebook in being a favourite app, and also that TikTok had lots of daily time being spent in it, but people still preferring Facebook. What do you think? Again, let us know. So I think the other huge part of the internet would be the e-commerce sector. And last year, there was nearly 4 billion people purchasing consumer goods via the internet. There's nearly 4 trillion spent. On average, people spent nearly just over $1,000 a year. I should also mention that all of these stats are from a global perspective, just in case anyone was wondering. And again, you can see here that e-commerce spend attributed to purchases made at 60% via mobile phones. And for those who are interested in seeing how e-commerce is broken down even further, you can check out these sectors below and their growth year on year. So that's a little bit about digital and how we got there. I wanted to take you into a little bit more about paid advertising and organic marketing. Another fun fact for you, only 50% of people know the difference between a paid ad or an organic ad. So when we search, results are either paid or organic. You can see on the left an example I've done here. So I searched for the best laptop to buy for gaming. And at the top, we've got an example of some Google text ads. And on the left, we've got some examples of some Google shopping ads. You can see here that both Currys and HP have spent money to be placed there, as well as other, here on the shopping side, you've got other people like Microsoft Store and CyberPower also bidding to be in that spot. But from an organic perspective, that follows underneath. So we've got the #1 ranking here to PC Gamer. We've got more top spots to other further educational content from Tech Radar and Games Radar. And underneath, we've got a video content, which is again such an important part of the organic marketing strategy. But what this example really means and what it can show you is how each website has a different goal. Currys and HP are looking to sell a product, whereas the media owners like PC Mag are focused on providing their audience with high quality educational content. And again, this is why Google has deemed them more relevant and how they've got to the top spot for free rather than having to pay for it like HP and Currys. And we can break down paid advertising and organic marketing even further. So the main strategy for paid advertising is that it uses paid methods to target, reach, engage, and convert audiences quickly. Whereas organic is a strategy that generates free traffic to your site over time. The goal for paid advertising is to convert your audiences for specific campaigns to generate sales or leads. Whereas the goal for your organic marketing is to increase brand awareness and build a connection with your audience. So paid advertising is then measured by return on ad spend, driving impressions, or achieving high conversions, generating traffic, etc. Whereas organic marketing is measured by your online ranking, website performance, impressions, search traffic, site domain, even your site health, domain authority, and even your click-through rates. Your paid methods include paid search ads, paid social ads, sponsored posts, display ads, affiliate marketing, shopping, and even video ads on YouTube. Whereas organic can be broken down into either content, which would be your blog posts, case studies, guides, email, social posts, and community management, even video. And then the technical side, which is making sure your website is user and mobile friendly. How does your website perform and how is it optimized? What's the user experience like when people are on your site? And again, we can also, from a technical point of view, content optimize from your blogs and your case studies, making sure that title tags, keywords, etc. are all okay. But the biggest piece of the puzzle is content, because this can influence customers and how they perceive a brand. You can see here that content will often trump ads, which is why it plays such a key role in getting people to purchase what you're buying or getting people to engage with your brand. It's really simple. You have your brand purpose, what customers want, and you want your content marketing to be right in the middle of that. So we know now that organic marketing is all about increasing visibility to your website, increasing quality of your content, and increasing visits to your site. We help our clients in a number of ways, from on-page SEO, doing technical SEO audits, link building and citation building so that people can find you online, and also online PR and SEO copywriting. So what about paid? So when it comes to paid, we deliver across 3 main disciplines for our clients: traditional search engines, content-based search engines, and shopping engines. So you can see here that paid search is not just Google's results page. And your traditional search engine are everyone from Google, Firefox, whereas your content-based could be YouTube to even newer sites like TikTok. And again, with shopping engines, this are people like Amazon, Etsy, even Google Shopping. And in the grand scheme of things, this is how the ecosystem plays out for paid search. This slide basically showcases how paid search is present in the whole customer journey, whether they're unaware or aware, or looking to buy or ready to buy. We can use paid advertising to influence customers to buy or learn more. Just depending on what stage of the journey they're on would be dependent on where it's best to spend your money. Another fact for you, when it comes to finding products, 63% of people start their searches on Amazon. So what about the value of the digital marketing market? Nearly 5 billion spent worldwide last year. Nearly 200 of that was spent on search ads. Another nearly 200 spent on banner ads, video ads, and classifieds, all included within that. The biggest stat for me here was the growth of video, because it grew nearly double what other channels grew last year. Again, this just shows how much video is playing an integral part in digital at the moment. So what about the share of that nearly 500 billion? Well, first, out of all advertising spent globally, nearly 70% of that was spent on digital. Google's share, nearly 30%. Meta, aka Facebook, took nearly 25%. And Amazon take nearly 6%. And that means there's just 3 major players taking over nearly 60% of the share of digital advertising. That was a really top line intro into paid and organic, but if you want to hear more, then please join this lovely bunch and hear from the experts as they dive in further. Charlie will be taking you through an introduction to PPC next month, the last Wednesday of May. Josh will be talking us through everything we need to know about SEO and the fundamentals in June. And for any charities and non-profit organisations, this last session is for you, where you can hear from Will on Google Ads grants and getting the most from that. So knowing the hows and whys, because they're all very important. It's so important to remember that digital marketing trends change week by week, and you really do need to research what will work best for your business. If you work in digital marketing, there are so many tools to help you along the way so that you can find the data to back up your strategy. Day to day, or AKA just to help you organise your life, you might find tools like Office or the G Suite, Trello and ClickUp. For marketing trends and analysis, you can check out Google Trends, Google Analytics, SimilarWeb and Global Web Index. If you work in paid and organic, you might work across some of the similar sites like Google Analytics and Facebook Business Suite, but there's obviously different ones in there as well. So for paid, you'll be looking at Google Keyword Planner, Google Ads, whereas for organic, you might spend a lot of time on Screaming Frog and PageSpeed Insights. So what about where digital is heading? It's been an exciting journey so far. And last year, TikTok was the app that made the highest revenue. It's definitely one to keep your eye out on. It's also important to note that they've just partnered with Shopify, which is huge for e-com social. YouTube, I think with people moving away from linear TV, there's been a huge shift in the streaming world, especially throughout lockdown. So it's definitely one to keep your eye out on. For those in marketing, will already know of the death of the third-party cookies, but this means we all need to find new ways of getting that first-party data. And I couldn't not include the digital out-of-home space. The biggest part of this is how data from smartphones, apps from consumers are registered to, and wearable tech is transforming the digital space. So what about you and finding where you fit or finding your purpose in the industry? It makes sense just to do what you enjoy doing and utilise the skills you're good at. I think that's probably the biggest part I took away. So you need to ask yourself questions like, what do you care about? Where do you want to make a difference? What are your strengths? What do you enjoy doing? You might really love numbers and being able to tell the story of data. You might find your flow writing content and copy. You might love building relationships when it comes to account management or sales. You might just be really creative and love design, but whatever it is, I'm sure that there are positions in our industry which will help excite you. I think this is my last fact. It might be like my last fact for today. But the greatest challenges within marketing teams for brands is securing talent with the right skill set. So you've got to make sure you don't get left behind by keeping up to date with latest news and developing your digital skills. These are some really great free resources which you can check out if you're working in this space or looking to find more. Check out Campaign Marketing Week and the IAB, which are some really strong industry news and trade bodies. And also, if you work in paid and organic, you've got Search Engine Land and Sprout Social. There's some huge free training and qualifications from the big boys like Google, Meta, and Microsoft. So make sure you check those out. That is everything from me today. Thank you for listening. I don't know if anyone has any questions or if anyone sent anything through, Tony.
Frankie, thanks so much for that really interesting session.